What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. And you know I got my brother in the building, man. He definitely came back for another episode. It's always a pleasure to have you in the building, man. Give it up for my guy, Spec.
That's right. What's good, people?
You know, my seat a little bit, get right with these hydraulics. You know what I mean? What's good with you, bro?
Ain't shit, chilling. Another day, another dollar.
Hell yeah, man. How you
Glad
been?
to be back.
Hell yeah, bro. How's life? How life been treating
Life is good. Tired.
you?
Life for the working class.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. How's your weekend? Did you go out of town this weekend, or you planning on going out soon? Or you just came back?
This
from out of
past weekend was my son's birthday.
Yeah, okay.
His birthday was last Thursday, but I mean he celebrated in school with his friends, and then we celebrated at home over the weekend with family. Yeah, and then this upcoming weekend going up to Lake George for a few days.
What do you do when you go out there? Like anybody who don't know, we in upstate New York, and Lake George is like a popular.
Definitely a family destination.
Yeah.
A lot of things for kids to do. A lot of things for adults to do. So I mean, it's a family place.
Nah, that's sweet. That's sweet. But what do you do? Like
you're in the hiking, whatever. I mean, it got something for everybody. Whether you're in the hiking, they have artificial beaches, so lakes with sand. You know, like I said, hiking. You know, if you're into scuba diving, you can do that. Boating. I mean, in the wintertime, hiking, trail, all of that stuff. So whatever you into, they got something for everybody up there.
Man, that's sweet. That's sweet, bro. What did I do this past week? Oh, I seen that UFC. I was watching that
I fell asleep.
Usman Edwards too. That was crazy. And that's funny because we've been trying to get me to watch UFCs for a couple of months now, like at least the past couple ones, and I've been falling asleep. I've been on my old man shit, and my girl she was watching something, and I was just letting her rock out, and then I just thought I was like, oh, cause I was out with Show the night before, and they were playing ESPN in the spot where he was DJing, and I seen the the precursors to the fight. And I was like, okay, I didn't really know too much of the background of it. I was like, and then I just remembered it at the last minute, turned it on, and I see Aldo fighting.
Okay.
Yeah, Aldo looking old, but he's still looking. He looked old, but he still got it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like but he lost. He went the distance though, but he went.
Who did he fight?
He fought some young white dude. I want to say. Yeah, some young white dude. I don't remember his name, but I think he's from the States.
Okay.
Then. I can't remember the names of the other one, but it was a good fight. It was a young Brazilian kid, kind of brolic. I'm gonna say Rockhold was the dude he fought, but I could be fucking his name up. But shit was shit. It was good for me for my first UFC in a long time. It was definitely a good showing. If anyone who don't know, in the Usman Edwards fight, Usman was killing the shit. All like the first round he got taken down, so I think he got a little like humbled.
Right.
And then he. All fight, like didn't want to shake his hand. He was trying to use mental intimidation tactics,
right?
Which made me think I think at some point he was hitting him and wondering why this dude is still standing, why he's still in this fight, and then he was just gonna like ride it out. It was literally a minute left in the fight, and he's still, you know what I'm saying, going at him, and he just let his guard down. Yeah, 1 second, caught a kick to the head.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, but that was good. Like I said, I kicked him a Show on the Friday. I got to see Show at a spot he was DJing at. I hadn't seen him in a minute. Saturday I had some work done on the car. And then my daughter's been with her grandparents for the past, she went on vacation with them, and then she's staying there till school starts. So, which is giving me the dope vacation, bro. It's like, it's sweet, bro. It's like, you don't even like, I might have said this on this pod before, but like, if I gotta make 2 stops with my kid in the car, it's like a headache.
That's
it's like,
a lot.
Yeah.
God,
now I'm adding stops on. I'm like, stop there. I'll go there. I'll do that. I'll grab that. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just like, cause you don't got the weight of a kid, of another life on you. But I miss her, man. Like, by the time she come back, I'm gonna be feeding her just to hang out with her, cause I miss her energy.
Yeah. But that feeling goes away in like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. Before we get home. They know how to push them buttons. They know how to
every day when I go to pick my son up from school, on the way there, I'm excited. I haven't seen him all day. Yeah. 2 seconds. He's back to being him.
I was telling my daughter, well, we kept having this because she went to camp this summer, and we kept having this issue where like every time in the mornings, half of it would be the stress of like you wake up, we gotta get there on time, then I gotta get to work on time because the bus will leave if we don't get there on time.
Right.
And then the other half of it was just like it's a new experience for her. She's used to school. She's used to she's going to other summer camps, but it wasn't like a commute. It was like we walked to the the bus stop, which is local. Right. So it was just like it brought another element to us because we don't commute during the school year. She also goes to the school bus, so it brought another element of stress. And this is like every day I'm like mad about something new. I'm like, yo, every day we gotta be stressed out. I gotta have a lecture in the car. I just want to play music in the car. We gotta have a lecture in the car, man. It's a lot to deal with, bro. It's but I'm actually the same question. Like I did an episode with Keith earlier this week. I'm actually the same question. I asked him, how do you think parenthood has changed? Because you said your son just celebrated a birthday. So how old is he now?
5.
So in the 5 years, how do you think that you're a different person now than I guess what you would have been 6 years ago?
Shit. Being a parent, that shit, you grow up fast. I mean, being responsible for another life, having to teach my son, obviously, I mean, he's still a kid. You can't teach a kid how to be a man or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But, your children watch every single move that you make, every word that flies out your mouth. Mm-hmm. And so whether you want to be or not, you're a role model. And it's kind of like you have to act accordingly, or else exactly what you do, you expect your child to do. And
I think they pick up on the shit you do more than even the shit you say.
Oh yeah, I mean, big time. Yeah. But I mean, they pick up on both. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
but they're more observant than we give them credit for. I say I learned that.
My son, there's times where he's on his tablet, he seems spaced out, doing whatever he's doing, but he listening
to everything, right? Picking up, yeah. My daughter got a fucking photographic memory, dog. It's good at sometimes, but other times you're like, nah. I'm trying to think. It made me more mature. I definitely think if I didn't have a kid, like, I don't know, I think I'd be on some dumb shit. Like, it gives you, like, a meaning of just, like, yo, go home, go, you know what I'm saying? Go call it a night. It's like, go, you know what I mean? You don't got to be out in the mix. You don't feel like you're missing nothing. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it definitely probably kept me out of a lot of trouble. And selfishly, it's got me out of a lot of, like, shit. Like, I'd be like, I don't want to go to that. I got to make up my kid excuse. I got to chill with my kid. I got to do something with my kid. So it worked twofold. But 100% has changed me a lot, man. So I think as my kid turned 8 in like 2 months, so what I'm going through now is the understanding of my kid is actually influenced more throughout the hours of the day by outside influences than she actually is by mine. Because now she's
not with you.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had the pandemic year, which kind of was like, it wasn't real. It was kind of like a make-believe kind of version of it, but she was so early in the school that it kind of might have... We weren't deep in it enough to know how not real it was in terms of her schooling. And then I guess the third factor of it is like now... So now I got to... now these kids are like... They're getting older. These kids are starting to have devices. She goes to an after-school program where the ages range from younger than her to older, a lot older than her. Mm-hmm. And it's like she just went to a camp where it was kids to teenagers. So she's hearing conversations, she's exposed to certain stuff, and like now the kids are having devices. That, you know what I'm saying? So I just gotta be aware of it and not even just not, you know what I mean? Like know that there's things that I can't even think of that she might be coming across at this age. You know what I'm saying? And it's like just be prepared for that and just know that like there's no autopilot. Like you literally gotta like. It's gonna be an uphill battle the whole time. It really isn't.
There's always something to teach. Yeah, right? Like it's constant.
And if you are on autopilot, it's gonna come back. I feel like to bite you in the ass. So you really want to take this time where they chilling and they take shit in, even though they don't always seem like it. Mm-hmm. They take shit in, and you kind of want to take that time to like let your ideas be known to them. I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I mean, there's times like, and I can't speak for you, but there's things that. My son may understand that. I would think as a father, you don't get that. So there's no point in even explaining it or something like that. But they understand.
No, they really do, man. They really probably better than we did.
It's important to take the time out to explain things to them. That's really what I'm learning at this stage, because they do understand. And if you look at it from the perspective, well, you're just a kid, you're not going to get it, so I'm not going to explain it to you. You're doing them a disservice.
Yeah, 100%. And they really gotta. My whole thing is I yell a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I want that to not be my default. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, it doesn't even... And even though she knows if I'm yelling, it's serious. You know what I'm saying? She does get that concept. I don't always want to go to the yelling. I want to... And I've been reading a book about it, like, or listening to an audio book about it, but it's talking about how, like, kids, they have, like, like, when kids have tantrums, they're using the lower part of their brain. They're not connecting to the more reasonable part. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of just lashing out, and you got to find... feelings. Yeah, you got to kind of find a way to connect that emotional to the reasonable, and then kind of, like, have it make sense for them. And you screaming and yelling ain't connecting that. It's actually you doing the same exact thing. You're not connecting your lower half of your brain to the upper half. And I'm probably not explaining it the right way.
No, it's no different than if you're talking to an adult. Like,
yeah, you got to make it make sense. Yeah, exactly. It's something I actually I came across in the news this week. I was listening to a podcast, and this particular story I don't know enough about. I tried to do research on it. I couldn't really find that much on it, but it was basically she was talking about how an influencer has 2 daughters. So her daughters are actually influencers as well on social media. They have their own accounts, and they have some sort of business that I think actually like is lucrative. But I don't know what they do. But basically, their personality is the like the front of some type of business, right. And so that they constantly put up content. And she had caught actually like just an adult, a pedophile, like talking in the DMs, trying to like message the kids. Now, she monitors the account, so she was able to catch it before anything happened. But I think it just threw her off. I think the kid's like 9 years old or whatever, and 9, and like I think the other one was younger than that. So it threw her off. It turned into a whole thing where she had like turned into like an investigation and really trying to try to figure out who these people are. And then I guess through doing research on that story, I had come across another one. I think it was called Ren Eleanor, and basically it was his mom who she has her own account as well, but she was posting things under her kids page. Mm-hmm. And she was like how people were. So I guess you could see like the stats and see what pictures people are like responding to more, right. what pictures are getting more attention. And she was noticing that they were getting a lot of attention for these pictures that were like the kid was eating a hot dog, or you know what I'm saying, licking ice, like something that could be sexual to a pedophile. Yeah, exactly. And then on TikTok, I guess they have a TikTok account too. You actually could save the video or whatever, mm-hmm. Or I guess if you don't, like I guess you're using Instagram, so you can screen record. Right. So so she was I think once she seen the stats and exactly what pictures were being reposted, shared, and liked that got the most, she kind of picked up on it that there's like this community of people that are kind of like preying upon, these pictures of kids. And it really made her say, well, let's start a movement of not only taking down that account and taking down those pictures, but not even posting.
The pictures on her account or somebody?
Well, the kid had his own. The kid had their own. Like, it's not like what parents are doing nowadays is they're just making these accounts for like their pet. They'll send me like someone out a pet account. Yeah. They'll do it for their kid. Yeah. Which I don't really know the point. Maybe there's a bigger. I don't know. What I do notice is that someone who makes content, if I post content on my kid, is more than likely to get more likes than just content of me. Right. Yeah, just because people think kids are cute or whatever, they're happy to see a kid or whatever. So I don't know if that's the idea behind giving your kid their own account, because you're like, oh, this kid's getting hundreds of likes or whatever. To me, it's putting them out there a little bit too much. But I guess what this lady noticed was like, she's like, I'm taking out everything from even her page of just like innocent pictures that she posted of her kids. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't even want to post my kid on social media anymore. So I guess it's really like, now it's making me think differently about it. Like I wasn't really, I'm not like, I don't just post. I'm more than likely to put something in the story, you know what I'm saying, of my kid, which is the same thing. Someone could screen record or take a screenshot if they wanted the picture. Who knows what else they could do with it. But it's really making me think, not only not posting anymore, but actually taking down the pictures of my kid.
Now, let me just ask you this question. As a parent, I mean, so obviously you can't control what people look at, what people like, or any of those things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, let's just say you post a picture online of you. I mean, you and your kid, I don't know, sitting on the beach looking at the waves, mm-hmm. and for whatever reason, perverts just find. I mean, do you not post pictures at all?
Well, that's where I'm at with that, and I think that's what I'm asking you too. Like, that's what I'm thinking. That's the catch-22. It's like my social media, whichever one, they're all kind of like diaries. If you really think about it, it's like I can look back on the years and be like, yo, I was on some crazy shit 10 years ago, and I was on some stressful shit 5 years ago, and I'm in a great place 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you always can kind of look back on it, and then, you know, there are also photo albums of your kids. Like, you're more than likely to look at your Instagram page than you are to look at all the pictures and years back through all those pictures that you have on your phone. So it's kind of like a photo album in a sense too. So do I want to lose that aspect of it because of the evil that exists in the world?
Right.
Or am I so cautious of the evil that exists in the world that I'm like, I don't need that. Like, I can find a different way to find that connection. Whatever it's doing to add my kid to my social media diary, whatever that's, I can find a different way to kind of do it. So I guess, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think there's levels to it, right? I mean, there's an extreme end of it, like, you know, parents, you know, they utilize their kids as, we'll just say, money-making machines, right? So, you know, there's hundreds of posts, whether it be pictures, videos, all of those things. If you're going to be that parent, then you have to take the good with the bad. I mean, you can't, I want to have my kid out there because we're trying to promote X, Y, and Z, but I don't want perverts to look at it. That's just like me, you know, if I want a bad chick on my side, you know, and I want my girl to wear all this risque outfits, then I can expect dudes to look, dudes to all of those things, and I should not expect anything other than that.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can post your kids on social media and all of that. And depending on what obviously there's different levels. Like, you shouldn't, in my opinion, obviously you shouldn't be posting half naked pictures of your kid online. But if you do, if as a parent that is your choice, and if you do decide to do that, without a doubt, rest assured, there's gonna be pervs out there because they're out there, right? And you're throwing red meat to them, so expect them to look. If you just have a regular picture, you know, I don't know, you hugging your daughter or you hugging your son, you can't control that. That's just like if I'm walking down the street, my girl, she has on loose sweatpants, loose sweatshirt, a hat on, but niggas still think she cute. I can't control that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. You know, I'm not.
I guess in the difference would be you can't really control what your girl. You know what I mean? You can tell her to as much as you want. Don't do that. Don't do that. But you can't control what she does. Whereas this kid's exposure to social media is through you. Kid don't got his own account. I would hope not. You know what I mean? And I personally plan on being a parent that makes my kid hold off. Like, I don't know what the normal age is now, but let's say the normal age is 12. I want my kid to hold off maybe another 3 years after that, just because when I'm seeing the effects of what it is having on the kids that are now starting with it. Like, that's really should be an adult thing, I think. But I can understand how if all the kids in the school have it, you're gonna want to do the same exact thing. And I can't make other parents have the same ideologies and outlooks that I have. So that's something I got to be aware of and know that it's gonna be something that I gotta confront. But in the sense of it, I can control what I put on my social media of my kid. But it's like, you know, I know what you're saying. Like, there's no answer. There's no right answer, right? It's like you're gonna especially if you're gonna make a business out of it.
Well, if you're gonna, then you have to
know that that's what's happening to your kid. Like, and then come to terms with it in some way, shape, or form. In the same sense that, like, your kid needs to go to school. You don't know who's looking at them when they walk on the bus or walk off the bus, and all you can do is protect them on that walk to there and there. You know what I'm saying? So. But it's just sick though, and it is social media causes so much more problems than I think it's just like it manufactures problems like that we wouldn't have if it didn't exist, obviously. But
I mean, it's all about how you use it and, you know, your perspective. I mean, social media, you know, it can be a gift and a curse. Yeah,
no, you're right. Like, like you said, it's all about how you use it, how you approach it. Which brings us, I think, to our next segment. When I got my man Spec on the show, I like to do a segment called Put Some Respect on My Name, man, where, you know what I mean, I ask Spec if he got respect for it or if he comes at it with a little bit of speculation. I want to see if I can pull this up on the big screen that we got here. So basically, it was a mom, and I don't know, like, actually, I was looking at this, she might be one, just the latest to do this, but basically, is a mom taking pictures of her kid dressed up like Spiderman. And as you see, there's like 4 shots, right? There's a picture of just him posing, and then she recreates the upside down Mary Jane kiss, and she's actually received a lot of backlash for this. Show you some of the Twitter comments. This dude right here says, I find it very funny that when a picture of a father giving his daughter a kiss on the lips, he was bashed for weeks. But this, everyone's all for it. Another person said, nah, I'm calling ACS. What the fuck going on here, yo? This person says she didn't see an issue. But the lady underneath her said they're reenacting a romantic scene between love interests and y'all really giving it likes. So, I mean, and I guess this is 2 debates here, right? How do you feel about the parental lip kissing thing? Which I guess is to each his own, in my opinion. I'll say that. I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a daughter, and if I had a son, I don't think I would do it. However, I don't judge anybody for doing it. Right. I don't think there's a sexual thing to it. I personally think this is wild. But I want to know, I guess, do you look at it with just respect for this mother, or a little bit of speculation?
I mean, personally, like you said, to each his own. Like I don't think I've ever kissed my son on the lips. Mm-hmm. If I had a daughter, I would never kiss her on the lips. That's just not my thing. I was raised. My parents kissed me on the lips. Okay. Like I can recall, my father maybe kissing me on the lips till I was maybe like 11 or some shit. Okay. Same with my mother. So it's not foreign. I get it. It's not my thing. Mm. I personally won't do it. And to parents who choose to do it, I don't give a shit. As a parent, that's your prerogative. This lady, I personally, I see it. It doesn't drum up any feelings. I just see it. Oh, okay. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. But I mean, it's a cool photo shoot. The fact that she kissing her kid on the lips. Again, I'm not a kid lip kisser.
So I guess her kissing a kid on the lip is one thing. Her reenacting a romantic scene from a movie.
So if I seen that, I wouldn't even know it was a romantic scene. Obviously that's Spiderman or Venom. I don't know.
No, it's Spiderman. I think it's the Miles Morales, the black version.
So it's the new version of Spider-Man.
But the scene that they're recreating from where he's hanging upside down, it's raining. It's okay. It's like Tobey Maguire is kissing. I can't remember her name, but the lady who plays Mary Jane. So that's why they do it. And she's not the only mom to do it. I've seen other pictures of moms doing that with their sons dressed up as Spider-Man, whether it's a Halloween shoot or whatever the hell they're doing.
Yeah, so I don't look at it like that only because I assume it's nothing romantic or sexual. Mm-hmm. So I don't place that label on it per se, even though they may be taking that scene from a romantic thing. I don't look at it, you're making out with your son. You want to go have sex with your son. I don't look at it like that.
A dad dressed up like Superman kissing Lois Lane as his daughter.
So again, I put it as the same situation as this. It's kind of like
if it's done.
I don't look at it sexual in nature, and so because I'm not looking at it sexual in nature, I just see it as a parent showing that level of affection to their child, which again I personally don't do, but I'm not against any parent who chooses to do it.
So you riding the fence, man. We don't got a name for that. What you say is respect.
Yeah, I mean, because this is a time. I mean, I respect it, I guess, because I don't throw shade on it. Okay. I don't see anything bad about it. So I mean, I guess I have to respect it, even though it's not something I would ever do.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with, like we said, a parent kissing their kid on the lips or the forehead or whatever the hell they want to kiss their kid.
Yeah, I always I give my kid a kiss goodnight. Give my kid a good night kiss every single night, but I only kiss him on his head, his forehead, somewhere far away from his mouth.
Yeah, because it's just not my thing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It has nothing to do with, that's gay or nothing. Like
No.
Even if I had a daughter, I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not me. Yeah, but I think why she caught the backlash is because it's a photo shoot. It's not necessary. Because then they if she wanted to take a picture with a kid, she got that one. Those where she's in the picture with the kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like.
Well, what if the kid said, "Oh ma, let me hang upside." I don't know how they recreate it, but ma, let me hang upside down and give me a kiss. Okay. How mothers are.
Yeah. So respect.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I mean, I'll say if I did this scene, I would be kissing my kid on the forehead. I wouldn't do the lips.
You found a way to do it with the
I don't
forehead,
have.
okay.
I have no issues with this recreating the scene, and I just wouldn't have touched the lips.
I got you.
And all the people that have something to say, they just need to just go somewhere. I mean, obviously they're bored.
Too many comments. Too much.
That's the one thing I've never understood about social media.
People just hating a
Yeah,
little bit too much.
like, well, go. If you don't like it, just don't look at it.
But that's what it is too. But social media rewards making funny comments, right? So it's like,
now when you say how so?
well, people like them. People like your comments, and you could then I think Reddit. Let's say Reddit especially works like this. You get upvoted by your comment,
okay,
so your comment actually
you're incentivized
to be funny. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, let's say for instance, me and you want to have a serious conversation. I would talk to you private text. I wouldn't talk to you in the group chat because it might open it up to Keith cracking a joke, Rick cracking a joke. So it's like, if I want to have a serious conversation, I'd pull you aside, kind of. But that social media is like, you trying to have a serious conversation, but everybody else trying to be the class clown and get props for making jokes. You know what I'm saying? So I think, that's why a lot of people just they shouldn't even talk about. Like, I think, like, if you carry life how you would carry life, you don't walk up to people on the street and be like, say something stink or say something nasty.
You know they won't have nothing to say face to face. So
like, if you don't be the person that can make a joke in real life and then make that person laugh, whoever you cracking on, then I can see why you do it on social media. But if you ain't joking because you about to, it might get you punched in the mouth, then don't do it on social media. Right. It's not like, don't be about that life. All right, man. Put some respect on my name. How do you feel about this? A de-extinction company plans to bring an extinct species back to life. The Tasmanian tiger, a company named Colonial Biosciences, I don't know why I can't read, Colossal Biosciences, has set their sights on bringing back the Tasmanian tiger.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Okay. I have no idea how they're gonna do it. I don't understand the science behind it, but they got it. They know what they're doing. I've heard there have been other projects that they were thinking about doing. They were thinking of bringing back the woolly mammoth.
Okay, I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah. And I forgot what the other one was. But
science, gotta love it.
So, are you greeting this with respect or speculation? You think this is gonna be something that's gonna be great for mankind, humankind, and the earth? Because the reason behind it is because once this animal went extinct, I want to say in like 1930 something, it kind of caused destructive effects on the biosystem that was underneath, all the animals and stuff that were underneath it. So they feel like reintroducing this back into that ecosphere, whatever they call it, is gonna be good for the environment. So do you see this like fair, or you got a little bit of respect for it?
I have respect for it only because, I'm of the mindset these are advancements in our technology. One day is going to be they're just able to go put in the microwave some genes and a human's going to pop out. And, my whole theory, my whole thought process behind it is, one day I would like to think, as human beings, maybe we can live forever or a lot longer than what our current lifespan is. Mm-hmm. And the only way we're going to do that is through scientific advances and these types of things. And so I'm all for it. Mm-hmm.
Do you think...
Now, there's always good with the bad. Okay. So maybe they may fucking create a monster or some wild shit happens. But, it's one of those things. You got to take the good with the bad.
So, I guess, so you don't... Because I feel like there has to be some type of regulation, right?
There will... If there isn't, there will be. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is.
Have they cloned a human?
No, not here. Because stem cell research is still banned.
But other countries have cloned human beings?
I don't think nobody has cloned a human being, but people have cloned human body parts.
Like they've recreated an ear?
They've recreated human body parts.
From what?
I'm from stem cells, and I don't. I
so like a person like without an ear, they'll take something from their body and make an ear for them?
They take some type of cells, and they're able to reproduce, like have those cells continuously reproduce to create body parts.
But they take it from the person, or does it come from someone else?
It's not from the person that they're trying. It can be from.
It could be from any stem cell,
right?
They can make body parts, basically. Oh shit!
So I mean, I'm all for the growth in scientific advances.
Yeah, this just scared me a little bit. You know how people get scared of them robots that be flipping?
Yeah,
this just scared me a little bit more than that. The robots, I think we might be alright. Like we just seen today, like the AI rapper got signed and then dropped.
I mean, you're gonna see a lot of that, going into the future. I mean,
how do you feel about that? How do you feel about like? So I'm a creative, right? I DJ and I do a podcast. So something like an AI rapper, it doesn't make me per se nervous. Because I don't really believe that. I guess I don't believe a computer can make a entertaining form of entertainment.
Right.
I think they can do comedy. They probably could program one to do stand-up comedy. You probably could program one to make a song. You probably could program one to do a podcast. I don't know if it's going to have that same element of listening to two human beings talking.
So I'll take a different stance. I think it would. You may not like it, but there will be an audience for it. It's no different than, like, whether it be, like, for instance, last week.
Don't get it twisted. I ain't scared of the competition. Like, you saying I ain't going to like it. I ain't scared of no AI competition.
Or earlier in the week, there was a conversation going around, R&B being dead.
Oh yeah,
and so
Diddy started that.
R&B's not dead. R&B today's just not what we know it to be from the 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s. That form of R&B, it certainly has changed. But the point that I'm trying to make is there will always be an appetite for whether it be AI rappers or hologram performances or
metaverse, like everybody.
Metaverse, there's gonna always be an audience. It may not be for us, growing up in the 80s and 90s, but there will, it's for somebody.
Okay.
If they're creating it, somebody's gonna love it.
Okay. I rock with that. I want to derail us too quick. I want to stay on that R&B is dead. Because I did hear Diddy saying that. Yeah. He was on a live, I think, with Timbaland and JD. And he dropped that. Now I think Diddy's an excellent marketer. He's a marketing genius, and I think he knows what happens when you make statements like that. And there's like you sound like you've agreed with him to a certain extent. I disagree. I think that they still do make the same type of R&B. I just think it doesn't get the same type of exposure it does when, let's say, Puff Daddy was working in the R&B industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there's so for instance, I don't know if you have XM, Sirius XM, but there's R&B stations on there, right? And they come out with new music that I'm like, I don't hear this anywhere else. There's no, like, WBLS, like, back in the day that would just be strictly R&B, or after a certain time of night, they're only playing R&B. It's like, you don't get that anymore. But I think it does still exist. And then maybe I'll just rock out to like a playlist, or I'll listen to like Amazon Music, and I'll listen to news. I feel like it's being made. It's not getting the shine, and then the stuff that is getting the shine will be like Throat Baby. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, like you might be singing, but you're rapper content.
Right. I think he was just speaking from. It was I don't want to say a impulse statement, but because I'm sure he probably somewhat feels like that because, like, let's say as a consumer of sound or music, everybody has the certain things that they like to hear. So for me, R&B, I'm a huge fan of like the old school R&B, right? Whereas today, like you said, it is still being made, but you're not gonna hear like the type of R&B that I want to listen to. You seldomly gonna hear on the radio, right? You have to go seek it out on like specialty stations,
Spotify, playlists,
right? It's not the big money grab like it once was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
So exactly. That's all it is. It's still there. You just have to go find it. Whereas once upon a time, even if you ain't go look for it, it's gonna hit you in the face.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, Diddy just dropped a new single. He's dropping an R&B album.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he just. We spoke about a couple episodes ago.
He's doing or he has an artist.
So he just dropped Love Records, That's the new label.
Okay.
So and then what he's trying to do is I think drop a full R&B album. But remember how he did Last Train to Paris? He's like on every song, but it's other artists.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like every Diddy album, I guess. Yeah. So, but I think it's gonna be a R&B focus on not only this label, but I think the next project he's working on. So, which I think was the marketing behind it. Like, let me get my name drummed up in R&B conversation. I got an R&B track right now on the charts. Like, go check it out. So
that makes sense. Okay.
But I also think there's a Nas. Nas said the same thing, right? Hip hop is dead, right? I just said.
But he was saying that I think for the same like when he said that hip hop was in the transformational phase, like we were going to, it was leaving the hardcore, New York type sound, and then just being this, it's all about the hooks and the beats and less about the artistry.
But I think that it was the same thing, like. Also, at that time, and I don't know if this is what inspired Nas. I love hip hop conversations. I don't know what inspired Nas to say it, but like, remember the South was blowing up.
Yeah.
When he came, it's like, well, people was like, why is hip hop dead now that the South is blowing up? But and then to what you said, a lot of people go to lean with it, rock with it, snap music, this, that, or that. But you can't front. There was hard music coming out of the South. You had to seek it.
Right.
It wasn't what was on 20 times a day on the radio. Right. Nas is probably like, why is Hot 97 sound like a Atlanta station? Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's even the same thing I just said, and I'm glad that I'm glad I had this conversation with you because you kind of just made me change my mind in the middle of it. I was like, I had some speculation towards AI, an AI podcast. As a podcaster, I should probably embrace that.
Yeah,
because
it might
be AI now. You might not be able to make it. I might have an AI, you know what I'm saying, guest up in here. So, but I mean, I say that with jest, but it's like you don't want to get blockbuster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to like, oh, Netflix is popping. How can I get on that wave? How could I do that? And you always want to know the next thing coming up. It's like, even with this podcast, I started out, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and now we're on YouTube.
Right.
And now, you know what I'm saying, I'm learning YouTube and social media. Started out Facebook, it started out Instagram. Now I got to learn TikTok. And it's like, but I want to. It's fun. It's different. So it's like.
You got to embrace.
Yeah, or you're going to get left behind. Yeah, 100%. And I see that so many times, bro. Anybody holding on, like, nah, they get left behind so bad, bro. I got one more for you, man. Put some respect on my name. So something that's been popping up a lot is book bans. I think 2021 and 22 has been the most probably in American history with books of a certain type being banned. Books written by minority groups, books that might have a theme of homosexuality, transgender content. Let me see what else. There was some historical books are also being added to that list that they don't necessarily want their kids to be.
Now, when you say book bans, like by who's banning the books?
So it'd be like school boards or even sometimes states. Okay. So sometimes it'd be like the Georgia State School, you know what I mean, or whatever. This book is not going to be read in this entire state. A lot of these like, I think red states are doing it more than anything else. But now what that's causing is kids to start book clubs. Okay. Like, yeah, you don't want them teachers in school. You can't stop us from reading this content. You can't stop this book from being available. And it's leading to a lot of book clubs popping up, which I'm very much in favor for, you know what I'm saying? So again, how do I really want to word this? Like, so how do you think this is going to turn out, I guess? Because I see it very detrimental, right? Like,
I think it's going to be a good thing.
You think it's going to be a good thing?
Because
I guess my question, let me just make sure. Yeah. I guess which is going to be stronger? The book bans or the book clubs? Like, do you think enough kids are going to want to take on knowledge on an independent level and be like, there must be some reason they don't want us to hit, let me go on my own and try to figure this out? Or do you think a lot of kids are just going to be like, we don't even want to read the books that we have to read in school. We ain't going to go seek that out. And so now you got ignorant parents making ignorant kids, and they don't want their ignorant kids to find out information that they didn't even get exposed to. Like, you know what I mean? We come from New York City. I come from Brooklyn. I'm exposed to a lot of the Jewish community. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's not, they're just, you know what I mean? It's an everyday thing. There's people, and you're just in the Bronx. The Jewish community might not be as big. You tell me, in the Bronx. But that might be a foreign thing.
There is a section in the Bronx.
But probably not as much as Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, so to you, it might be a foreign thing. So imagine someone in fucking Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? There's people, like, I hear comments, like just from listening to, like, Jewish podcasters. Mm-hmm. They hear stuff, like, crazy stuff, like, that people don't even mean to be racist when they say it. Like, oh, oh, you're a Jew, or you look like a, you know what I mean, like, or like stuff like that. And it's like, to me, I'm like, why would you don't talk to another human being like that? They don't even understand they're being racist. So you got these same people, or the same people like, I don't want my kid exposed to books about transgender people because I don't even want them to know. I don't want my kid, and this is like, so I guess go to my original question with respect or speculation. Who do you think is gonna come out on top of this? You think the book bans are gonna like lead to a more ignorant generation of kids, or do you think they're gonna be enough independent kids that are gonna fight this?
So I don't think. Good question. I don't think there is at this stage. You know, with the internet, social media, all of these different avenues to get information out there. You know, it's not the 1930s. So even if you don't allow your child to look at certain things, if your child wants to, they're going to find those things. If they're around the right people, they're going to see those things. Mm-hmm. I look at the book ban more like parenting. When you tell your child you can't do something, it's going to make them want to do it more. So there's that aspect. There's also the aspect of what I believe you're going to see, not necessarily in elementary schools, because those will forever be a staple in our society, but let's just say in another 20 to 30 years, and maybe not even that long, schools or higher education, for that matter, as you know it, will change. Because...
In what way? What do you mean?
So we grew up in, I would just say, a time period where an emphasis is placed on school, and you have to go to college. If you don't go to college, you know, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to do this. And my belief is the younger generation, they are going to realize the hypocrisy would be the wrong word, but school, it is necessary up to a certain point in your life. And then it becomes more of a situation where, like college, for example, I'm not telling nobody not to go to college or anything like that, but higher education in that form, in that sense, I think in the future there's going to be a far less emphasis on it.
Even with automation, you think, like with a lot of jobs going to be, you know, self-driving.
I think you're gonna see more of a shift in like technical stuff. So technical schools, like the whole liberal arts, and you know, like what we did growing up. I think that shit is gonna be obsolete at some point, because it is known, and it is becoming even more known. What are you gonna do with your liberal arts training?
Make podcasts.
Okay, podcast.
But yeah, I mean, that's not what my mom wants to hear.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's, you know, college, and I'm not gonna go down this, but college was just created as a part of the government system. Yeah. And so this younger generation, I'm excited for the younger generation because they have so many tools, so many opportunities. You know, the sky is the limit. You know, they're not going to be bound like we were, or our parents' generation were growing up. And so, you know, you can put bans on, you know, books in school, but it's my belief, it's not going to stop people from consuming. You know, the people who want to consume are still going to consume. The parents who want to be ignorant, they're going to try and pass along that ignorance to their children. And some children will be affected by it. And some children will know otherwise and know that their parents are just full of shit. And
why would you try to keep me from this?
Right. Man? And so, you know, state schools, they could do. I don't look at now. If we were talking about, you know, 50 years ago, I would say this would have a very, very adverse effect just because of the way our society operates and the lack of information that you have access to. But nowadays, I don't really think that's gonna be a big thing.
No, it's an interesting conversation too. So, how do you feel, I guess, about like your own kid going to college? Do you think about that type of stuff already?
I think about it. You know, I'm always gonna teach him, you know, to get good grades in school, do your best. But I will never force my child to, you gotta go to college. You must go to college. That will never be me. My thing that I'm going to preach to him, you know, whatever it is that you decide to do, one, I'm going to support you. And two, if this is what you're going to do, you give that shit your all, period. You know, don't half-ass it. Don't, you know, you want to be a fucking male stripper? All right. I mean, you need to have a plan. And I'm going to make sure you have a plan, you know, and you're going to be the fucking best male stripper that you could be, you know, whatever.
So, so you're not going to push college?
I'm not gonna push it like it was pushed on to me. Okay. Like I felt I had to go to college. Like there was no choice, right? My son is gonna know that there are choices, essentially. You know, if he once says I want to go to college, okay, cool. Like I'm not gonna shun college, but I'm also not gonna make it seem like you have to do this. If you don't do this, your life is dependent on it. You know, because that's how it was taught to me growing up. But I'm not opposed to that way because not even that, but just where I grew up, I needed to get away, and college was my only. College for me was my only way out. You know, I didn't play sports.
Well, no, it was a great experience. You know,
it was a great experience. And I'm sure, but in hindsight,
the jobs we have now,
I didn't learn. I didn't. If I look back at my college experience, what I take back from college was just more about having fun than learning. I didn't learn anything in college. You know, the 5 years that I was there, I can't really say I learned much.
I learned a lot of life skills. I think maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I did. I mean, and I think you did. I was there.
I mean, life skills. So what's life skills? I mean, what would you take away? What did you say? What life skills you learned in college?
Not to be a wild boy. Like I was a wilder boy. I think before I went to college, and then I don't know. Like from the freshman year to the end of it, I think I came out and like a bit more mature. Obviously, it's 4 years of maturity, but no, it looked like I don't know. Like I fell in love with DJing in college, so I always correlate that with college. My best friends now are people that I met either before.
Right. I mean, those are relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
So I certainly have relationships, you know.
But no, you're 100%. I mean, there were things I learned in sociology class that I do apply towards life, and there, but for the most part, I learned how to pass tests.
But I'm sure you knew how to do that before you went into college.
Yeah, it was
because
when I made it to college.
Because when I think about it, I mean, I learned the same skills that I used to pass tests in middle school and high school is the same skills I used to pass tests in college. Now I know for a fact if I tried to go to graduate school with that same mentality, it wouldn't have worked.
It shut down because you couldn't last minute
because those same skills, graduate school is different. The same skills, they're not transferable.
Yeah, you're right. You can't just
you can't memorize your way through grad school. You can memorize your way through college, high school, all of those other. So, you know, college was great. You know, I would not. Trade in my college experience. It was one of the best experiences I had in my life. But notice the word that I'm using, the experience. Yeah. I didn't learn much in college.
Yeah, that's what. Life skills probably wasn't the right word. Life experiences, I think, would be the better one.
Certainly experiences.
I was I didn't have too many life experiences before college, but like that.
I experienced a lot in college. Exactly. So yes, college from that standpoint, it was amazing. And like I said, for myself, it was the only way out the hood. So it was necessary. But my son, he's not going to grow up with that same pressure, with that same reality. So he's going to have choices.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to be the parent that, you know, pushes college onto their child.
Any kids out there, man, like if you in somewhere, you watching us right now on YouTube, shout out everybody on YouTube, and they trying to shut down books, where you at? Start a book club, start your own thing. And it don't got to be the books they banning, but start introducing your own self to start exposing yourself to information that the school isn't, because that is what life is after school.
And just as a general life concept, if people are talking about banning anything, ask yourself the question, why?
Yeah.
Why are they? If people are trying to ban something, it's because they're fearful of something. And more than likely, it's not something bad.
In the sense of a book, like if they're banning a substance of some sort, it might be dangerous. But you're saying in information, if they're banning information, there's probably a reason, right? Like,
well, if they're banning anything, You should have just. No, I'm not saying everything that's banned. I'm not saying everything that's banned is good, but what I am saying is you just shouldn't look at it as they're banning it, so it must be bad. If somebody is banning,
do your research. And
do your research and ask the questions. Why is it being banned? Is really what I'm saying. There are certain things that are worth being banned, sure. Mm-hmm. But everything that's banned is not banned for the right reasons.
Or created equal. No, I get that. Spec, you one of the biggest LeBron James fans I know. Man, you think this might be his last season? You think he's going to push it till Bronny gets there?
Well, so you asked two separate questions. What he wants versus what his body...
Isn't what Bronny's after this season, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, possibly.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think he's... But you never know. I mean, a year for a kid in terms of development is a lifetime. So, Bronny, I mean, I'm already seeing... great advances in
from last year, right?
In this current year, so you never know. But I know he wants. That's his ultimate goal. If he could stay healthy, then it will happen. But obviously, and I think he'll stay relatively healthy enough to be able to season, right. If his son is to make it to the end, right, in order to be able to do that. But LeBron staying healthy all season, those years are behind him.
Well, I guess the bigger question I want to ask you then: did you see what Skip Bayless tweeted out about Bronny?
No.
Okay, so I think Bronny was playing on television, and Skip Bayless tweeted after seeing a dunk that Bronny did, said, "Hey Bronny, impressive, but your dad would have dunked it left-handed. You sure got away with it though." To which Skip got a ton of backlash. You know what I mean? People were like, why are we critiquing, what is he, the kid's like 16, 17 years old? Like, not like... Yeah. So, and Skip is obviously, you've made a business on hating on LeBron, right? So you're just staying on bread. Because what I think Skip's business scheme is he knows there's a lot of LeBron haters out there. Why not be the voice of that? The same way I think Stephen A. champions being the voice of the anti-Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's so Skip Bayless just chose.
Or weed.
He still hates weed even to this day. Oh, because people get suspended for it. Yeah. That makes sense. So I say that to say, a lot of people were like, "Yo, Skip, you foul for that. You shouldn't be talking to a kid like that. Why you judge a kid just because you got beef with his dad? Blah 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 blah." And Brian don't really go at Skip when Skip say anything or nothing like that. So it's like a one-sided beef, you know what I mean? But do you think that Skip went too far? Or do you think that if Bronny is planning on hitting the big leagues, maybe this is something he needs to get used to? Because I believe LeBron was getting critiqued at this age, right?
I mean, LeBron was getting critiqued
way earlier than this, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think Skip was foul for that, or do you think it's just par for the course?
I think it's par for the course.
Okay.
And also, I mean, if you reiterated his comment verbatim, I mean, to me, it's
not that harsh.
It's not that harsh.
It's just haters. It comes off haters.
I mean, because it can be looked at like, for instance, LeBron is right-handed, but he utilizes his left hand. He shoots with his left.
Well, Skip explained why he said that.
Okay,
he said because I guess he was getting a ton of backlash. He's like, "Yo, I gotta fucking respond." You know what I'm saying? Everybody, he said, in all my years on Twitter, dating back to May of 2009, I've never seen anything like that nuclear reaction detonated by that tweet. It's now up to 18 million impressions. What just happened? And then he went on to drop another tweet where he explained, saying that he's like, I guess I got to get real technical for you. He said LeBron would have dunked it left-handed because of the way the defense was coming. He would have used his body to shield from the ball and hopefully draw the foul.
That is true.
That's not what you meant. Whether or not that, then you should have just said. Technically, he should have. You know what I'm saying? No, you try to hate on a young.
No, he was being a critic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And he doing it, and then decided he's gonna throw a little bit of basketball because he does have basketball knowledge. You know what I'm saying? On top of it, but it's like, come on, you know the main point of what that comment was. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not against it. I'm like,
yeah. I didn't, and also because the reality is people talk about Bronny, okay, is obviously who his father is, you're next up. Mm-hmm. And so, if you're going to be next up and heir to the throne, you got to step your game up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
mentally and physically, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to deal with that. I mean, and I get where the criticism comes from. It's like, Skip, y'all don't even talk about high school sports. Like, why were you wait till you get to college? You know what I'm saying? But
it was on ESPN. I mean, it was so.
What Fox? Isn't he on Fox?
Well, I'm talking about the game.
Was on ESPN. I gotta say, oh yeah. So if you playing on a national level, you gotta expect for that type of
I mean,
because so many people.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to our next segment, Spec. One I like to do, and I know my TV gonna act up on me again, but it's one I like to do, and one I do like to get excited for, man. It's called Things I Seen on the Internet. So I like to, you know what I mean, scrolling Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and I just come up, you know what I'm saying, up on a bunch of things. Let's see what I can find here. What's going on. Alright. The first one was on the Shade Room, matter of fact, and it's a new theme amusement park ride. So let me know if you yourself will get on this or if you let your kids get on it.
Speed became an issue on a massive slide, and it was all captured live on Facebook.
Oh, I told you keep your hands off the slide. Yeah, that's it. We good on that.
What I noticed was the impact that they was hitting the ground with coming off of the hills.
His children now cautioning others. The two youngest refusing to go down. The two older kids deciding once was enough.
I was going down way faster than I thought it was. Gravity hurts.
If I was high, I'd say, oh, let's go do that shit. But I wouldn't let my kid get on that.
Look at how the motherfuckers bouncing.
And staff members were at the top and bottom of the slide giving instructions.
Yeah, you just looking to get hurt on that.
Oh Lord, I'm trying to let you see.
I wonder if they make niggas sign liability waivers.
No, that shit had me rolling when I first seen it. Hold on, did you see that? Why would you watch other people come down there and then just be like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a try?
To go down, the two older kids deciding once was enough.
I was going down way faster than I thought I was. Gravity hurts.
As you were going down the slide, what was going through your mind?
Man, I'm gonna die.
The DNR says there were no injuries and staff.
But they ended up closing that ride right there because that shit was kind of nutty.
Where was that? Like it was at a amusement park.
Amusement park, yeah. Let's see, where was that?
It said in Detroit.
Yeah, but I guess it's just a new ride that they had opened up for the the season or whatever. That's wild.
I'm more curious why there was no white people there.
I think there was. I think news reports be finding black people to like interview, and they hoping that they
just say something.
Yeah, like I feel like they are. That's a thing, you know, right? I feel like that was a thing at a certain time. Like they would find the wildest, like dead giveaway.
It makes sense. I mean, you want
to go viral.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can find the next one. I had this shit organized, but the way I had it organized, it wasn't letting me show it to you. Alright, this is from your neck of the woods, Spec. You gotta tell me what's going on here, brother.
Wow, that's the Bronx.
This ain't got nothing to do with no funeral either. Is this an intimidation tactic? Is this how you pull up to the ops?
Who does this shit? That's crazy. I mean, that's definitely some Bronx shit.
You gotta leave when niggas come rolling up. Oh man, what else did I see on the internet, bro? I seen that. I thought of you, man.
Good old Bronx.
Let's see. What else did I see on the internet? Oh no, there's two. Can I play? Nah, I can't play from that. I'm gonna figure this out one day. Good people in social media land. Oh, but anyway, yeah, for all the people out there listening, matter of fact, we got to describe the last one. I forgot. We didn't even tell them what was happening. So basically, it's a dude. What street is that? You know, in the Bronx?
It's on Fordham Road.
Yep, you're on Fordham Road and walking with a casket. Wow. Him and his homeboy. He's just dragging a casket behind him. And yeah. is what it is. All right, this next one, I'm not really sure what he was trying to do. I'm not really sure what the goal was here. This one's a short video, so hopefully it plays. Oh, so he's going down stairs on a motorcycle. Little bounce. Little bump.
Hey, yo.
And then he just falls off the side of that shit.
Idiot.
What was the goal there?
I mean,
there's no way that would have worked out perfectly, even if he would have went straight down the stairs. Like,
I don't know what people be thinking sometimes.
he going down. He lost control. Caught himself. Little bounce. And then just loses. They got one more, man.
It was that bounce. It was that
That
bounce.
last bounce. He thought he caught it. He was like, nah, bro. Might just be scrolling past it. I think this is it.
My upstairs neighbor wakes me up early every morning making all type of noise.
So this dude got beef with his neighbor. His neighbor makes noise, and this is how he gets back at him. He got this computer desk that I got right there, and it got wheels on it, and he takes it on his ceiling. He's just going across the ceiling, rolling it back and forth. He ain't done. Hold on. It says, my upstairs neighbor wakes me up early as fuck every morning. That shit would fuck me up, because I'd be like, what is that sound downstairs?
Coming, yeah.
That's the reason not to rent right there, man. You can't do that shit.
I mean, I know we used to do that, you know, when we lived in an apartment building, but it'd be on the people.
You do it below us, yeah.
Yeah, you doing it on the stairs.
I'm gonna beef with the people, because most people got to deal with the people upstairs.
Right.
My man said, "Yo, I got you." Yo, Spec. That is another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, man. Always a pleasure having you in the building, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, shit, I'm about to break up the whole thing. About to bruck up the whole thing, brethren. But where can people find you at on social media? You ain't got social media, man.
Not yet. One day.
One day, you know what I mean? But you can follow the Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. And, of course, you can follow your man DJ Playboy on Instagram at PLICCAPEEZY, PLICCAPEEZY. Also, follow Perfect Talk, which I just said. But you can find me, DJ Playboy, on Twitter, at DJ Playboy. So, stay tuned to the whole entire massive. Also, check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, my radio show, The Night Shift, and the radio show I do with my brother, Money Talks Radio. We just dropped episode 27, so go check that out. Please make sure you leave a rating, a like, subscribe, whatever you watching us on or consuming
Click
us
that
on.
like button.
Smash that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, YouTube. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. We rocking with y'all heavy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just stay tuned to the team. Keep rocking with us, because we got a lot more in store for y'all, man. We're going to keep entertaining y'all. And I really do mean that. Shout out to everybody because there's so much you can do on your phone, so much bombarded at you every day, that if you take some time out your day to rock with your boys, we appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? No lies there. So, no cap, I think is what the kids say.
Cap.
Is that what they say?
Right.
I heard the kids say that earlier. But, yeah, what are you watching nowadays, Spec? I like to ask people at this time, what are you consuming in terms of music, television, movies, books? What are you rocking with nowadays?
I mean, music-wise, this past week, Game just dropped an album, so
What's it called?
30 tracks.
Dramatic, right?
30 tracks. It's taken me a little while to get through that. But so, in terms of music, that's what I've been listening to recently.
Okay.
As far as TV, I have not been watching much TV outside. I watch the Yankees when they play.
They picking it up now, right? They turning it up.
They just lost 6 straight series, so they've been actually turning it down.
But didn't they win like 2 nights ago or a night ago?
They won. They just won their first series in like almost a month.
Come on, I only know yesterday.
They just beat the Mets yesterday.
I ain't going for people do be talking sports. I'll be like, what was the last thing I heard? What was the last thing that went by on the scroll on ESPN?
Yeah, so but that's about it.
You said you haven't rocked with football for a couple seasons. You see yourself getting back into it, or?
Probably not.
Nah, I'm hyped for football season coming back. College too. I rock with the college heavy. But yeah, I'm ready for fall, bro. I'm ready for Halloween. I'm ready for I'm not in any rush to get through summer. I'm gonna enjoy these last weeks of summer. Still get as much bike riding in as I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm still on that goal to hit 100 miles, and I'm really close. I actually just broke my pedal though.
What?
Yeah, but I bought a new one.
Okay.
So that's the project. Hopefully by this weekend I'm back out there. And we see where it goes, man. But yeah, I'm ready for it all, man. Once again, shout out to everybody out there rocking with us. Spec, always a pleasure having you, and you will be back, right?
I will be back.
You know what I mean? Say goodbye to the people, dog.
Peace.
Peace.